A scroll sits in the desert, waiting for a time machine. But since time machines don't exist, scientists built something weirder. They built a clock made out of exploding atoms. Yes, exploding atoms tell us how old stuff is. The Dead Sea Scrolls are the test subjects. 15,000 ancient texts, hidden in caves, guarded by dust. Found by shepherds, not Indiana Jones, just regular goat guys. These scrolls shook history harder than a TikTok conspiracy. But wait, were they actually ancient, or just medieval knockoffs? To find out, we don't ask priests, we ask physics. Enter carbon-14 dating, the nerdy superhero of archaeology. Here's the trick, everything alive is a little bit radioactive. Not glowing in the dark radioactive, just politely radioactive. Plants, cows, your cheeseburger, all carry carbon-14 atoms. Carbon-14 is unstable, like your ex on social media. It decays over time, exactly like bad fashion trends. Every 5,700 years, half of it disappears. That's called a half-life, not a Netflix show. When something dies, it stops taking in new carbon-14. That's when the atomic countdown begins. So, scientists check the carbon-14 left inside. Less carbon-14, older object. More carbon-14, younger object. It's basically a radioactive hourglass made by nature. The first guy to test this was Willard Libby. He carbon dated the Dead Sea Scrolls back in the 1950s. And boom, the scrolls were ancient, not medieval fan fiction. Later, labs double-checked with fancy machines called AMS. AMS stands for Accelerator Mass Spectrometry, but don't panic. Think of it as a particle-counting blender with a PhD. It lets you measure dust so small it's ridiculous. The results? Scrolls written around 200 BCE to 50 CE. That meant the Essenes, a mystical desert community, likely wrote them. Mystical community? More like the original Desert Book Club. But here's the problem, carbon-14 isn't always a perfect clock. Why? Because space keeps messing with Earth. Cosmic rays slam into our atmosphere like intergalactic dodgeballs. They create fresh carbon-14, constantly topping up the supply. So, carbon-14 levels in the atmosphere wobble like jello. Solution? Tree rings. Trees don't lie. 1 ring equals 1 year. Scientists match tree rings with carbon levels. Voila, calibration. Ancient forests become cosmic cheat sheets. But even trees can't save us from chaos. In the year 774, carbon-14 spiked like crazy. Why? Possibly a solar flare, possibly a supernova. Either way, medieval peasants saw weird glowing skies, and wrote about red crosses and snakes in the heavens. That's how space weather ruined our isotope homework. Even worse, contamination messes with samples. The Dead Sea Scrolls were smeared with castor oil. Not for cooking, archaeologists thought it made text easier to read. Turns out, it just messed with radiocarbon dating. So modern labs clean the scrolls like they're in a spa. Scrub, polish, date again. And now, AI has joined the game. Yep, robots are dating scrolls now. A model called Enoch reads handwriting like Sherlock Holmes. It predicts dates within 30 years on average. Sometimes, it even claims scrolls are older than we thought. One scroll of Daniel, boom, pushed back to 230 BCE. Older dates equals hotter debates. Historians argue, scholars throw papers, someone flips a chalkboard. But slowly, a new timeline emerges. Carbon-14 says one thing, handwriting says another. AI nods in between, sipping digital coffee. Together, they paint history in sharper colors. So what's the catch? Carbon-14 only works up to 60,000 years. Beyond that, it's like squinting through cosmic fog. Also, different diets change the math. Fish eaters, for example, look older on carbon-14 tests. No joke, seafood messes up your timeline. Imagine explaining that in a history exam. Sorry teacher, he ate too much salmon. That's why scientists cross-check with bones, teeth, and wood. They run multiple tests until the numbers stop arguing. And when the numbers finally agree, history shifts. We suddenly know when scribes dipped quills in ink. We learn which kings ruled when these words were written. We discover the scrolls are ancient voices, not medieval echoes. And all thanks to radioactive atoms quietly ticking like clocks. Think about that next time you microwave leftovers. Atoms don't care about your burrito, but they keep time. Time itself, measured in tiny explosions. The past written not just in ink, but in isotopes. And the future? Probably AI dating more dusty stuff. Maybe one day, AI will carbon date your diary, and argue you were way older than you admitted. So next time someone asks, how do we know history's age? You can say, exploding atoms, cosmic dodgeballs, and tree rings. That's the recipe for dating the past. And no, Tinder has nothing to do with it. So, smash that like button before it decays. Subscribe if you want more time-bending stories. And remember, history isn't just written, it's measured in radiation.